Hi, welcome to Midtown Fiber. This is an impromptu video. I filmed it once, but it was wonky, so I'm gonna give it another whirl. My name is Eileen. I hope you have found this channel recently due to like knitting or mental health. I talk about both, a little bit of spinning, a little bit of weaving. I just uploaded a video a couple days ago, but this is like what I'm hoping to do more of, like an impromptu. I'm not gonna edit this, except of course refilming. But I'm not gonna like put it in the editing software and like mess a bunch. But I just wanted to like have a moment of stillness because my children are back in school. And my dogs are at daycare, and I don't know why that gives me more mental space. Some days it does, because they're a little crazy sometimes. I'm just sitting here with a little bit of space for the first time in almost a month, and it is glorious, and I didn't realize how much I needed it. So I casted this beauty on last night. I don't even do socks. Who am I? But I did it. So I casted it on because thing number 2, my youngest, was having a complete meltdown. He has some anxiety. I think we're coming to a conclusion that it's like more generalized anxiety than just sort of like the underlying that we thought it was. Pandemic has had effects. It's fine. There's no judgment. But it has sucked my will to live. This one was 4 hours long. He also has ADHD, so there's a component of that. But in order to center myself during Meltdown Central, because he's worried about going back to school, it's a newer school, and the transitions are hard. But he does wonderfully, and his teachers love him, and his classmates love him, so it's his adjustment that's hard, which is hard on mom. But I cast this on because thing number 2 was triggering all my childhood stuff that I'm working through in therapy with like kind of the explosiveness and yeah, all that. So as a way of centering and grounding, I had been thinking about it, but I decided to cast on this hat. I'd even had the colors picked out, so I'd gone through that already. Well, I had the main color picked out. This I found a scrap of and actually it goes really well. Right? I think it goes really well. This is Magpie Fibers, Swanky Sock in a color I don't have with me right now, but I'll be talking about it on the next podcast, so I'll put it in there. And then a scrap of blue that it might very well just be like a rando. Now, I cast on... I wanted to do a DK sock, and I thought this was DK yarn, and then I took a closer look and realized it was their sock yarn, so I doubled it. So I'm carrying this double and on a 3.25, so we're talking 3.25 millimeter, right, which is a US size 3. On my Chow Goose shorties, which are these tiny little, this is the first time I've had cause to use these tiny little guys. They usually have blue, nope, they usually have red, tiny red cables. I don't know if it helps to like cover my eyes. Tiny red cables and these really tiny joins, and this is part of that red little Chow Goo shorty set that you can get, and it's got like 0s to 3s in 2-inch and 3-inch sizes, so I figured why not bust them out. So I found a DK vanilla sock pattern. Again, I'll talk about it in the next, so I don't have the details now. I cast it on, and as I was knitting, I was processing all of my feelings, and I am loving this, and I'm gonna go a little longer before I go off to the heel, but I really enjoyed this. And I don't know about you guys, but like there's something about casting something new on in a moment of emotional exhaustion that gives you a little bit of energy to make it through, or at least it does for me. And I've only had a very limited number of projects of late, most of which are large garments. So for me, it's actually like, I don't know, it's almost like I need to start casting on smaller things. Like I have some hats planned and now socks. this is from Stash, of course, and this is from Stash, and this is all part of my big stash down. But when my son was finally able to calm down, had a little back pet, came in and checked on me, he gave this his stamp of approval because he just learned to knit. He's very crafty, and he's a lefty, so it's hard for me to teach him as a righty how to do things. But we watched some videos, and that was cool. He's a lefty, and he just turned 10, if that helps anybody else. There are videos. PM me or DM me or whatever that nonsense thing is called for details, and I'll find the ones that we used. But it did help him quite a bit with chunky yarn and chunky needles. I did include some footage of him learning at the very end of the last episode, which looks like it cut out at the end, but it didn't. If you stay tuned, it continues on, so you'll see the footage anyway, or the last bit. So anyway, there's something about knitting something new when I'm in a moment of turmoil that forces me to sort of focus and ground. And so I think I'm going to take that as my moment of intention and knowledge for sort of this year without getting woo, because I'm not a woo person, but you know what I mean. Like, we can all kind of center and grow from certain knowledge about ourselves. This is the knowledge about myself I'm having today, that I have a safe space, that knitting is my safe space. And while I knew that, I didn't realize what type of knitting was particularly impactful for me when I'm feeling out of sorts or when I'm feeling chaos inside. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that you guys feel the same. I'm hoping that you know about what helps you in the moment. And if you don't, it's okay. Try new things. But I'm just like super happy to have found something new about myself and to have helped my son, who again, in the car this morning, smiling as he got out. Love you, Mom. Excited. See you after school. He's so squishy and sweet and beautiful and perfect, but so I went to therapy. I treated myself to some lunch as part of my self-care, and I knitted and I read a couple of books. Here are some book recommendations if anybody's interested. So I'm a newer spinner. I don't think this is backwards for you, even though it looks like it in the camera for me. The Spinner's Book of Fleece is really great, even if you're not a spinner. I'm a spinner now-ish. Can I call myself that if I've done it like for a couple of months? But it tells you a lot about creation of yarns and what you're looking for particular types of projects. So that's pretty cool. And then I also have been slowly reading this because I love it, but it's like just a segment at a time. It's almost like cherishing something. This is, the name of it is Making a Life. And it is by Melanie Falick. And it is a beautiful book. It is beautiful. And it's a bunch of interviews and bios and sort of background stories on makers all around the world. And this one was speaking to me today, and I just got into it. Felt like it was kismet. Yeah. Exactly. Balancing motherhood and art. I feel you, sister. But it's gorgeous. I mean, the pictures and sort of, wow, you can't even see that. The pictures and sort of all the photography, but also like the care and the love and the work that goes into getting people's stories. I think it's incredible. So I'm really enjoying that. And I'm working on my sock. I did purchase a new microphone. I haven't taken it out of the packaging yet, but I'm gonna go with this view because I'm sitting in front of some windows here in this other room in my house, and this seems to work better. Look at my pretty entryway. There he is. I love this house. And I also did go to the library today and found some books that I think will be helpful for me, so I'm feeling even better. So like random mental health books when you have kids with anxiety and you're struggling with anxiety. This one's When the World Feels Like a Scary Place, Essential Conversations for Anxious Parents and Worried Kids. This one especially for both of my children. Why smart kids worry. My kids are very smart. And I really, really hate any sort of mention of test scores because I feel like it's completely irrelevant in any determination of intelligence. Can we just get that out of the way? I'm extremely intelligent. My husband is extremely intelligent. My children are extremely intelligent. So are yours, regardless of what a stupid test tells them about their test taking ability. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers, our culture in this country, about what intelligence looks like. All kids are smart in awesome ways, and all kids are creative. And so I don't know, but this is great for everybody. This is for me. Mindfulness for stress management, working towards that in my life. And then anxious kids, anxious parents, because both of us, my husband and I, both have some anxiety, but my son is significantly worse at the moment, so we're just trying to help. Any tips? Anybody? My daughter is also anxious, but she's like, everybody's in therapy, by the way, because therapy everybody needs. I don't know who might need to hear that, but there is no shame in some therapy. I feel like there might be shame in thinking you don't need therapy, because that's a lack of insight right there. Everybody needs some therapy. But she's like, you know, functional. And my son just has moments of issues. So we'll get him through it, but we're just working our way. And in the meantime, I knit and I love it. So anyway, if you like this content, like and subscribe and all that Instagram nonsense, you can follow me on Instagram at Midtown Fiber. I'm on Ravelry at Midtown Fiber. I changed my name now so you can find me there. And I'll just put out more like this because maybe sometimes you want a mental health check-in in the middle of your day because you're just having a day in good and bad and roller coastery ways, just like the rest of humanity. And Instagram sometimes makes you feel like you're not productive enough or not creative enough or not problem solving enough. I sometimes feel that way. So I hope my account anyway helps you feel more good in who you are and exactly what you do, and you are exactly who you should be doing, exactly what you should be doing right now. And that you are not alone in feeling all the feelings that you have. So anyway, happy January 9th, the first day my children are back in school. Hooray. Anyway, I'll check in with you guys again, and it's good to see you. Can't wait to see you again. Hit like if you like it. Thanks so much. Bye.